think everybody in this movie is unbelievable. I also have to give them super credit for how many weird things they have to say with completely straight face. Talking about all the reversing the streams and, every weird thing they have to say. Like what you were talking about with Annie Potts, like reading off that litany of things you have to believe in.
Yes.
Or when Rick Moranis is possessed and he's talking about the Tor and the giant slower and all the people who burned in the fires of the slower that day. Roasted in the belly of the giant slower that day. I mean, they are great. They're just going off on all these things. And, I don't think line memorization is kind of the one thing that makes you a good actor. But the fact is, when somebody can just rattle it off that naturally, it's impressive.
Well, and I think Rick Moranis wrote all of his own stuff, his own bit.
Well, that makes sense.
Because I had seen an interview or read something with him where he said that he always goes in and he makes his own bits.
Yeah, a lot of these comedy guys do stuff like that, and it's really good.
Even the non-comedy guys do it too.
Yeah, nowadays I think everybody does, but I think it just depends on certain types of actors.
Like Jack Nicholson does it. He writes stuff.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Some types of actors are very into like improvisation and being in the moment and changing things. Some of them would rather stick to a script. I think it's very 50-50.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like you're more of an improv guy.
I mean, it depends on what it is. But yeah, I mean, if I'm left to my own instincts, I'm completely happy with that.
Yeah.
It gives me the freedom to play.
I mean, as long as you have to be prepared, you can't just be ripping it.
Yeah, I mean, I would be very happy improvising something if you know the material. You know where, the desired destination is.
Yeah.
If you know where it's going.
Well, and you know your character.
Yeah. You do your research. Then, you feel comfortable with it. I think that really the best way is if you have a hybrid where you have a script, that is strong, that gives you the facts that you can play, and then you can kind of paint outside the lines a little bit with things that you discovered on your own.
Yeah. I tend to be more of a lines person. I'm probably maybe because I'm Shakespearean, but also because I'm terrified of improv. But at the same time, in real life, I'm always just making a terrible joke. So, I don't know.
You make great jokes. You always make me laugh.
That's a hard thing, too. You're not easy to make laugh.
No, I mean, my dad's whole family are very, very funny people, and they... really, as I grew up, again, it was like a comedy training, which was great because I was surrounded by these people that were just hilarious.
Yeah.
And you would find what would work, what wouldn't work, what would make these folks laugh. So, growing up with a tough room, I'm really happy that it happened.
Yeah, my family was very into comedy also. With my stepdad, my mom. When I was a teenager, I just watched comedy all the time, whether it was movies or like sketch. I was really into SNL also, and Dan Aykroyd was my favorite person on the early SNL. I loved Kids in the Hall. I loved Monty Python. I listened to the Firesign Theater records. I mean, like, we did all kind of comedy stuff.
Well, and Monty Python said that the only one out of the SNL group that they would consider bringing on was Dan Aykroyd.
Well, that makes sense. I mean,
high praise.
His style is really... I felt like he really fell into the characters well. And I enjoyed a lot of his SNL characters a ton. And yeah, like I said, in Ghostbusters, he's probably my favorite of everyone. Even though I like all the characters and I love the way that they fit together because I think that's the success of the movie, I think Ray kind of is my favorite. Just because, I don't know, I find him the most relatable. I'm kind of like the nerdy person who gets really excited about stuff.
Yeah.
And knows a lot of things. And like, I would be so excited to experience things the way that he experienced in this movie with, seeing the ghosts and then they see the ectoplasm and it's like, I they're so excited and I love it. I mean, Egon is excited, but Egon's excitement is like, yes, I'm very excited.